P1, identify how two organisations plan, recruit using internal and external sources. My two companies are McDonald's and Shiplake College. I'd like to start with the recruitment planning of Shiplake College. So, recruiting at Shiplake's a lot harder than it is at McDonald's because you have staffing requirements, like all teachers now need a degree, and also especially at Shiplake College, as it's a very high standard school, they'll be looking for more experience, more other attributes. So many teachers here also coach rugby and have their rugby qualifications or rowing qualifications. They also need to know the actual size of the school. So as Shiplake College is growing, they're going to need more staff because there's going to get there's going to be more pupils. So if they want to keep the class sizes the same, they're going to need to actually cater for that and bring in more staff, because Shiplake's known for their class sizes and that. Also at Shiplake, they also have advertisements on the website that show which staff, like when staff are needed and stuff like that. And as labour as a percentage of turnover is relatively low for Shiplake College, this is because it's their largest cost, but there's little variation in the yearly planning, so there's going to be hardly any changes compared to companies like McDonald's. That means that they can keep costs as low as possible. And at Shiplake College, they're obviously looking for full-time staff rather than part-time work. This is because most teachers are at the start or at the end of their careers, and their careers are very important to them. So they need the time to get to build on their careers. In terms of McDonald's, McDonald's is just kind of a walk-in job. They also have are able to have newspaper ads, and it's also a very common place to see a job in the job centres for McDonald's, because it's low wage and it's easy. There's no qualifications needed. So when you're applying for a job at McDonald's, you can go to the store, you have a little interview, fill out the application, then they will most likely accept you. So when you're actually there, because you don't need any qualifications, they train you on site while you're actually learning how to do it, and then you can do it. The way you can make more money at McDonald's is by pay rise by achievements. So the more you work, the more you sell, the more money you're likely to make. And also at McDonald's, you don't receive a pension, unlike Shiplake. So so a lot less money in that, and that means that there's going to be lots of changing in staffs. Like the average worker at McDonald's only lasts for about 3-4 months. So it's paid differently. And then McDonald's also have management and graduate schemes, so they're paid that means they can actually develop new kind of more managerial positions in the company, still paying a low wage. However, they're paid a little bit more than just people that work on the minimum wage, like the basic worker at McDonald's. Now the living wage. So they get paid hourly, and it's a lot different to school, because at school you get paid you get paid through summer and you have a set salary. So that's very different. As Shiplake also use external sources, so they use advertising agencies to release the the adverts, and they also use schools' headhunters to bring in different applicants from around the world. This means that the actual cost and the time to actually to actually recruit someone is actually very expensive, because they have to hire a different company to attract a school, and to attract workers into the school, and also if it's someone from, let's say, Dubai that's applying for the job here, then it will cost a lot, and will take a lot of time for them to complete the application to get over to the UK and stuff like that. And as Shiplake has an international set of students, this is more likely here, as we have teachers from Malawi and Dubai and stuff like that. Thank you. P2, explain the impact of legal and regulatory framework on recruitment and selectional activities. So when a person at Shiplake is going to be interviewed, well, the person actually interviewing them and the person that's actually accepting their application needs to think about these things. They can't be sexually discriminating, so they can't just pick a boy because it's a boy. And that's the same with race. Just because of the colour of their skin doesn't mean that they're going to be different in the way that they produce their work, or the way that they teach in Shiplake. Then equal pay, depending on the level of where they work. So if they're head of department, they're all paid at the same level, rather than let's say one head of department who's really liked by the headmaster, so he gets paid more. That wouldn't actually happen. And then disability discrimination at Shiplake, they cater for all kind of people with disabilities or non-disabilities. So at Shiplake, there's people with dyslexia, and the teachers are the same. So they don't actually care if, like, they don't judge you by it. So if you have dyslexia and you're a teacher, you're still allowed to apply here, and you can do that. And then the European working time. So at the European working time, it's a maximum of 48 hours and 5 days. At Shiplake, you get taught a lot. I think there's about 32 teaching hours, and so that means that staff are well below that, and that means it's really good to attract new staff to the school. And then the Employment Act, so McDonald's, they have to work by the minimum wage. So at Shiplake, this isn't very applicable, because all teachers have got a basic, well, most teachers have if they're working full time, they have a salary of above £7.20 an hour. They're looking towards more the 30 grand salary a year, and that means that they can, well, they're not breaking any laws. They're not overutilising workers and stuff like that. Unlike McDonald's, which work at the minimum wage the majority of the time. So that means that they have to make sure that they're paying the staff the right things per hour. And that also means that staff, they may ask staff to work overtime, and in actual fact that may be legal, as you're only allowed to work 48 hours a week, and you're only allowed to work a maximum of 11 hours with breaks. So you know, it's very hard at McDonald's to actually get the right balance, so you can earn enough money as well as get paid enough to live, really. And the Data Protection Act, so any information that the school or McDonald's provides, they have to be able to give to the person that to the person that the information is about. So at the school, the staff have a profile. They can use this profile of other schools if they're applying for other schools. So all the information that they have stored, they can give to the person, and if they didn't, it would be illegal. There are also some ethical issues that the interviewer needs to think about. He needs to make sure that in an interview, the questions for the new candidate are the same as, and the similar questions as what you'd ask the other candidates. So you can't ask one candidate if they can do the 9 times 9s, and then ask someone else to do what their opinion is on leaving the EU. You can't do that. They have to be similar questions. So if they're going to do the 9 times 9, they have to ask someone what the 10 times 10 is, or if they're going to ask how they'll deal with a situation, they have to say, okay, here's here's your time. You know, you caught a kid smoking, what would you do? The other person, for the next candidate, it'd have to be, oh, you caught a kid drinking, what would you do? Then the interviewers have not to be related to the candidates. So at the school, the governors are involved in some of the recruiting process, as well as the headmaster and the senior leaders, as well as also some of the prefects, to show that you know, at any different level you have to be able to provide a good service. And also at McDonald's, depending on the position you're in, so if you're looking for a senior management position, you will be met with some of the marketing directors, maybe a CEO, maybe some of the board, depending on what job you're applying for. On the interviewers, because it's normally a group of people that are on the panel, they have to have a nice mix of gender and ethnicity. This shows that the company and the school are gender neutral, so they don't care if you're a boy or a girl, and you know, they're not judging you by that, and also that that the school is actually multicultural, multiracial, so it shows that the school's very welcoming and very nice to people. Thank you for listening.